Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and for this one, gonna be reviewing another one of my all-time favorite Disney animated films. So, for number 1, it's The Great Mouse Detective, number 2, The Nightmare Before Christmas, number 3, Robin Hood, number 4, Zootopia, number 5, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So for number 6, it's The Lion King. Yep, The Lion King. So, what can you say about The Lion King? It is a fantastic animated film, Disney film, you name it. What can you say about it? I know, it's crazy. The Lion King, I will say, because, everybody, because watching Lion King, reading the books, having the toys, singing the songs, everything just, oh my gosh, with its sequels and with its spin-off show, Timon and Pumbaa, you name it. So, for The Lion King, everything about it is fantastic, from the story to the characters, the music, the songs, everything else. And everybody, even the people at Disney, when they were making this, they were more focused on Pocahontas. They thought that was going to be a big hit, their achievement, everything else. Not so much on The Lion King, but man, when Lion King came out, man, were they wrong? Because, man, even it kind of beat Pocahontas. A year after The Lion King came out, with Pocahontas, yeah, Pocahontas did pretty good. It was still good, but not as successful or anything like that as last year's film they did, Lion King, so, so for The Lion King, of course, everybody the opening to The Lion King is amazing, because the Disney logo and, Walt Disney Pictures presents. You hear a lion's roar, Na Savina! The sun rises, the song begins, the circle of life, and the ceremony, because Simba being born, Rafiki holds him up, and, oh yeah, even if I have to bring this up, pretty much everybody's done that joke where Rafiki drops Simba, or there's a vine where he throws Simba. Oh, even Disney did their take on that when they did the Lion King bloopers for, I guess its anniversary Blu-ray or something like that, where Rafiki, as he makes his way, he kind of trips and drops Simba, and Simba cut. So that was the last blooper of the Lion King bloopers. So so yeah, it's pretty cool Disney did their take on that. It's funny. Yeah, good job, Disney. Thumbs up. Way to go on that. And of course, with the characters, we got Scar, Zazu, and Mufasa. Did your mother ever tell you not to play with your food? What do you want? I'm here to announce that King Mufasa's on his way. So you better, however it says, oh, now look at that, Zazu. You made me lose my lunch, Mufasa comes in, Sarabi and I didn't see you at the presentation of Simba. And also because that one line that Zazu says, he make a very handsome throw rug, Zazu. Disney, a few years later when they do Hercules, they do that joke where Scar is like a throw rug or something like that. Hilarious. And so we also see Simba, Rafiki, Sarabi, Mufasa teaching and giving Simba, I guess, a tour and such, a king's time is roar, rises and falls, and, one day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here, and will rise with you as the new king. So, and then, we cut to Zazu giving the morning report, and actually, because the DVD of The Lion King, it featured that song, The Morning Report. And very similar, because when Disney, because when they did, the DVDs of Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, they added in two new songs in there, one with We'll Be Human Again and The Morning Report. And, yeah, so, and, they seem to fit pretty well in there. And I remember, like, seeing I remember, because, like, I remember when Disney showed The Lion King in theaters again. I think this time in 3D. Yeah, in 3D. And me and Little Blue, we went to see it in the theaters. And that scene without the song, because, I told the elephants to, Zazu, will you please turn around? Oh no, so not the pouncing. And so, and yeah, so that's the original, and with its theatrical version. The Morning Report, because of the song, this is the Morning Report, not of the Morning Report, even Simba gets his singing bit in there. We get, actually, because we get an appearance of, is it a groundhog? I think so, because in the song The Morning Report, we get to see more of the groundhog. He kind of, like, gets away because Simba, like, trying to pounce him and such, and then, of course, the groundhog shows up again, like, Zazu, yes, sir, news from the underground. I think that is Jim Cummings voicing the groundhog, so, and of course, the groundhog gives the information to, Zazu that, the hyenas have returned, sir, sire, hyenas in the Pride Land, and then, like, we come to Simba and Scar, Scar kind of gives away to Simba the elephant graveyard, and then he goes to Nala, Simba goes to Nala, and then they travel, they say they're going to the water hole, and then Sarabi has Zazu join them. As long as Zazu's with you, and no, not Zazu. Step lively, the sooner we get to the watering hole, the sooner we can leave, And then we, of course, come to another one of the famous songs, Lion King, just can't wait to be king. And then, because they arrive at the elephant graveyard, and then Zazu's there, we're way far off of the Pride Lands, and then I love the face of danger, ha, and the hyenas come out. Well, what have we got here, Bonsai? I don't know, Shenzi, what do you think, Ed? Oh, Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed, they appear, and, of course, they get away, and then they catch Zazu. Not the birdie, Boyle. Why don't you pick someone on your own side, like you? Oops. The hyenas chase Simba and Nala through the elephant graveyard. Then they are in the corner and such, and Simba tries to roar at them, and whoo, that was it? Do it again. Come on. And then he lets out a roar. It kind of surprises Nala and the hyenas, because, out of nowhere, he has a roar, but it's Mufasa that does it, He roars loud, we don't even hear Simba, And like, huh? Bah! And Mufasa, you don't mess with Mufasa. The hyenas know not to mess with the big king and the big daddy and Mufasa, If you ever come near my son again. And, oh, this is your son, did you know? No, of course not. Ed? And Ed knew, doodles. And Mufasa's not kind of pleased and such, and then as Nala says, I thought you were brave, as they walk off, the camera pans up, we see Scar, because it was all him who set that up, and, and speaking of which, there are a few differences in, like, the newer releases of The Lion King, maybe because of the animation and such, like, for instance, in I Can't Wait to Be King, the shot of the crocodiles, in the original, I think they were completely different as of what they look like now. And Scar, when he is looking down at where they're leaving, in the original, he's not moving his head or anything like that. He's just staring, but in the original, he's moving his head. And later on, because in Can You Feel the Love Tonight, the lighting and background texture is a bit different, the lighting or the shade of coloring, whatever, I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying. But anyway, so back to that, and back to the movie. Of course, Mufasa and Simba have a talk, and, Mufasa gives him a lesson, because being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble, but you're not scared of everything. I was today, and yes, I thought I might lose you, and everything seems perfectly fine, Mufasa, he teaches him a lesson, etc. Everything's fine for them. Even Simba, like, I think those hyenas were scared a lot, because nobody messes with your daddy, and it's true, because Mufasa, he's a big lion, and the king and such, and yeah, you don't mess with Mufasa. He'd sit your butt straight. And then there's another lesson that there's another thing that Mufasa gives to his son, look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars, So whenever you feel lonely, just remember that those kings will be there to guide you, and so will I. And then we cut to where the hyenas are at and Scar is, and another one of those big songs in the film, Be Prepared, And yeah, it is a great song. Well, that is for a villain song, It is. And what's really cool is that, okay, Jeremy Irons and Jim Cummings sing that. Jeremy Irons sings it from the start, and up to where he, the point that I must emphasize is, you won't give a sniff without me! That's where he does kind of shout and such, and that's where Jim Cummings steps in and does the singing voice for Scar, so prepare for the cool, because you see how that is? See, because Jeremy Irons shouts his last singing lines, you won't give a sniff without me, tying in and such with Jim Cummings singing it kind of loud and, so prepare. You see that? Because Jeremy Irons, he does it a bit kind of soft or, it's clear from your vacant expressions, even you cannot, kind of a bit calm and such, that kind of stuff. But then that's when, after he says, you won't give a sniff on me, and when Jim Cummings sings it very loud and, for the cool of a century. See, that is so good, I love how they did that, because I think trying to, fool the audience or something like that, just, if you get what I'm saying, if you get what I'm all trying to say, you guys let me know, because that is really cool right there, and I guess to trick, I'm not really sure, maybe to trick the audience's minds or something like that. I don't know, but I'm sure you guys get the point, so. And then we cut to where the canyons are, and Scar says, no, you wait here. Your father has a marvelous surprise for you, And, has him stay right there where, a rock edge or whatever it is with a tree. Hey, Uncle Scar, will I like the surprise? Simba, it's to die for. And, Scar goes off, and the camera pans up, and where the grass field is, the wildebeest are there, the Shenzi bonsai net are there, and, wait until Scar gives the signal, and when the Scar appears, and there he is. Let's go. And then Simba, we cut back to Simba, little roar, and trying to scare a little Camille, you guys probably know, lizard type of species, I can't even say it, I'm having trouble. You guys let me know, so, he does scare, he does kind of let out a cub roar, but it's loud and echoey, and then sees rocks, little pebbles and such, little rocks, kind of, the ground is kind of shaking and such, and with the rocks, and the wildebeest coming, that famous scene with the wildebeest stampede, it is good, and with it being, with wildebeest all being computer animated, and that's, of course, with Mufasa's death, and, we see his body and such, that's a rare thing for Disney to do, so, and Scar steps in, but the king is dead, and it went for you, he'd still be alive. Oh, what would your mother think, and what am I gonna do? Run away, Simba. Run away and never return. And as he walks off, Scar just stares, and the hyenas step in from the fog and from the dust or something like that, the fog, and, kill him, and then go after him. And that's when he escapes, and, they can't reach to him, so go get him. No way, I'm not going in there. And, if you ever come back, we'll kill you. And then Scar, he's at the Pride Rock and giving, a memorial speech to Mufasa and Simba. Mufasa's death was a terrible loss. But to lose Simba, who had barely to live, so it is with a heavy heart that I take over the throne. Yet out of the ashes, in which lion hyena, in a glorious future, the hyenas come in, and Rafiki, he kind of scrapes, because of the drawing he did of Simba. And then, of course, we cut to where Simba is. He's just out in nowhere, and the vultures come in. And then, of course, the two lovable characters, Timon and Pumbaa step in, bowling for buzzards, gets him every time. And, of course, they help Simba, wake him up and such. And then comes another famous song, Hakuna Matata. And so, because with the song Hakuna Matata, and, they, because, even introducing Timon to, to where Timon and Pumbaa live, because beautiful sightings and, beautiful views, and with the waterfalls, everything else. And they introduce him to grubs, and Simba tries to, Hakuna Matata, and, slimy yet satisfying, that's it. And then we cut to that famous shot, they're on the log dancing and such, and Simba growing up and such, the dissolve shots, and then, and then we cut to back to Pride Rock and such, what it's like, when Scar is possessing the throne and such. He has Zazu in a cage and such, and then, the hyenas step in, Scar, there's no food, no water, yeah, it's dinner time, and we ain't got no sticking entrees. It's the lions' job to do the hunting. Yeah, but they won't go out and kill and go out and hunt, and, eat Zazu. Oh, no, you wouldn't want to eat me, And Banzai says, I thought things were better with Mufasa, or something like that. What did you say? I said, ¿qué pasa? Good. Now get out. And Banzai says, yeah, but we're still hungry. Ow! And dissolve back to where Timon and Pumbaa Simba are, and that loud burp and such. Whoa, nice one, Simba. Thanks. Man, I'm stuffed. Me too. I eat like a pig. Pumbaa, you are a pig. And then, Simba, kind of thinking of his father and such, and then he kind of goes on an edge and such, and collapses or whatever, and sends these, those type of flowers, blooming, whatever. And, I would need if I mentioned that thing, because that controversy, where the flowers, some people say it made the word sex, but really it was supposed to be SFX, but some people still speculated that, and they had to remove it, so, but anyway, so, and with, Rafiki catches the flowers and such, and, or something like that, and, he can sense, knowing Rafiki, because with Rafiki, he can sense and feel and such, Simba, he's alive, it is time. And then, we cut back to where dissolving, and that dissolve shot, and we cut back to Timon and Pumbaa singing, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Pumbaa gets distracted by a bug, and a grub, that is, as it's called, as they call them in the movies, goes after it, and is about to get it, on a log and such. And then, as it flies off, he sees Nala out there, and Nala chases down Pumbaa, trying to hunt him down. Then Pumbaa comes in, she's gonna eat me, Timon, whoa, why do I always have to save your, I think you guys get the joke there, and then Simba comes in, saves Timon and Pumbaa, and that's when, Nala does that move where, if you guys remember, because when they were cubs, pinned you again, that kind of thing, and Nala, Simba knows that, and he recognizes that, and that's when he's like, Nala? Because he knows that, and that only Nala would do that, make that move, so, and that's when they recognize each other, tells Nala know that it's Simba, that it's him, and etc., and Timon, just that shot where Timon, and, hey, what's going on here? And, Timon and Pumbaa are introduced to Nala and such, because after what happened, you're they didn't cover that, he almost ate us and such, you get what I'm saying? And that's when, Simba and Nala start having feelings for each other, and love and such. And oh yes, that of course another one of those famous songs, Lion King, "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" And that's when after the song and such, like Simba and Nala have a talk, and like Nala telling Simba that Scar has taken the throne and such, and has let the hyenas take over the Pride Lands. And also that's when Simba goes off, "You said you always be there for me," and it's my fault, and Rafiki comes in, "You are Mufasa's boy, correction, I know your father." And then that's when he leads him to where, I guess, to speak to Mufasa or something like that. But then look harder, you see, he lives in you, and that's when Mufasa comes in, the clouds, everything else. And that is a really cool scene, a very powerful scene, and like, "Remember who you are my son and the one true king." And and just that's when Rafiki comes in, and that famous wise quote, that "The past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it." That's a famous line and wise word and such. That thing, it's very good. And that thing where Rafiki hits him on the stick, and like, "Ha! You see? So what are you going to do? First, I'm going to take your stick." "No, not the stick. Hey, where are you going?" "I'm going back." "Good, go on, get out of here." And that's when Nala comes in and tells Timon and Pumbaa about, wondering where Simba is. And that's when Rafiki comes in, "You won't find him here. The king has returned," And that whole thing, like, "Who's the monkey?" Scar, like, who's got a scar? The monkey's his uncle, and I was like, "No, Simba's gone back to the Pride Lands to challenge his uncle," and and that's that, and and another really cool shot with Simba run through the desert and like kind of a dissolve or whatever because of his feet and legs run in the sand, Then Simba returns to the Pride Lands. Nala and Timon and Pumbaa arrive as well, and that and a funny scene there, the hula dance. "If you're hungry for hunger, fat, and juicy meat, eat my buddy Pumbaa here, because he is a treat. All you gotta do is get in line. You could be a big pig too. Oi!" Distracting the hyenas as Nala and Simba get passed by, and then Scar and Sarabi have a talk, and "If you were half the King Mufasa was, I'm 10 times the King Mufasa was," however he says it. And everybody discovers that it's Simba, and Scar surprised, Simba, oh, I'm a little surprised to see you alive. Looks at Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed, gulp. "Give me one good reason why I shouldn't rip you apart, And that's when all the lionses that is, step in, and even Nala says, "Simba's the rightful king, and, the choice is yours, Scar. Either step down or fight," or something like that, however he says. And then tells them, like, because of his little secret, and, because, who is responsible for Mufasa's death. And it's Simba who says that it's him, and Sarabi, "It's not true. Tell me it's not true." And Simba just says, "It's true. You see, he admits it. Murderer. No, it was an accident. If it weren't for you, your father'd still be alive. Do you deny?" And such, "Then you are guilty. No, I'm not a murderer. Oh, Simba, you're in trouble again. But this time, Daddy isn't here to save you. And now everyone knows why." And that's when, like, Simba kind of slips and holding on to the edge, because of Pride Rock. "Now, this looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? Let me think. Oh, yes, I remember. This is exactly the same way as your father was holding on," and such, and here's my little secret. I killed Mufasa. And that's when Simba has that flashback, then jumps up and, holds Scar to the ground. "Murderer!" and "No, Simba, please tell them the truth," and "I killed Mufasa." And then the big battle begins, and Timon and Pumbaa come in, bowling for hyenas, that is. Then Rafiki comes in. We see him in action, like, kicking some butt and such, Rafiki does really good, Like, a bit of, like, because I want to say Rambo kind of in him, you know, and kind of like Yoda in Attack of the Clones. Because Yoda kind of like, you know, shouts and has his flip and kick moments, or flipping and fighting with a lightsaber. But, you know, I'm sure you guys get the idea of what I'm saying. And that funny scene with, like, Timon and Zazu and the hyenas and Pumbaa, you know, hey, who's the pig? You talking to me? Uh-oh, they're calling a pig. Are you talking to me? They shouldn't have done that. Are you talking to me? Now they're in for it. They call me Mr. Pig. And Pumbaa charges at Shenzi and Banzai. Ed is outside watching. Like, wait a minute, like, did Ed not notice Pumbaa walking by him or something like that? I don't know. It's the movie, you know. And that's when that big whole confrontation between Scar and Simba, and that really cool fight scene between them, and that in slow motion, you know. And that's when that cool shot where Scar like reaches and coming up to the camera, you know, it's like, I guess, Simba's point of view of the camera and such. Simba knocks him out, like, pushes him, and, like, he goes down and such. And the cool thing about Scar's death and such, like, okay, Simba has, like, pushed him off the top of Pride Rock. He's tumbled and such, falls, and he's perfectly fine and such. And the hyenas come in, and, you know, he says, you know, oh, my friends. And, like, friends? I thought he said we were the enemy. Yeah. That's what I heard. And Scar's face, and Ed? And then the hyenas come in, they laugh, and with an evil smile, and Scar's like, no, let me explain. No, you don't understand. No, and, you know, watch what you say, you know, because after what Scar said about the hyenas, you know, the hyenas who are the real enemy, it was their fault, it was their idea, you know. And so, that's when the hyenas attack and kill Scar, that is, and the fire kind of rises up, and that's when it rains, and, you know, no dialogue, just beautiful music, and just a few bit of lines from Rafiki and Mufasa, because, you know, like, Rafiki kind of shakes his stick and, you know, tells him to go up there, and, like, you know, Simba hugs Rafiki and such, and Rafiki's like, you know, it is time. And Simba walks up and such, and you hear Mufasa's voice, remember. And coincidentally, because Rafiki and Mufasa give the last lines of the film. You know, Rafiki says it is time, and Mufasa has the last line of the film, remember, you know. And so, and that's when Simba roars, the lions just roar, and we cut to when, you know, when it looks gloomy and such, you know, there's grass and everything in Pride Rock and Pride Land, such, you know, everything is back to the way it is, you know, and the ceremony and such of the baby, you know, because Simba Nala had a baby, and you don't know, because it's either their son or their daughter, because of the Disney Junior show, The Lion Guard. I forget the name of that lion's name, but also their daughter, Kiara, you know, as we see, and who appears in The Lion Guard, and she's one of the main characters in Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, so, and yeah, because we get a shot of the cub, and yet, boom, the movie ends with the logo. The movie ends. Such a great ending to it, and the movie, The Lion King, it's a fantastic film, and one of Disney's best, you know. Now, Lion King is not, I wouldn't say Lion King is the best Disney animated film of all time. No, they have had other best animated Disney films out there. You name it. I could name out them all for you, you know. I'm sure some of you guys would agree with me, you know, because The Lion King wouldn't just be their all-time best. They've had others before. Give me a break, you know. I think even like Finding Nemo and Frozen outbeat Lion King, I want to say. Yeah, even, like, because Finding Nemo kind of did, like, because it surpassed Lion King. Like, even producer Don Hahn called up Andrew and said, well done, because another film of Disney that really groundbreaking and really a big success, because, you know, with Finding Nemo, because they said that, you know, everybody was more focused and, like, thought that The Incredibles was going to be a big success and everything like that, and not that much for Finding Nemo. But they were kind of wrong. The Incredibles was still a big hit and a big success, while Finding Nemo, it was too. You see? And the thing is with Lion King and Pocahontas, a bit different because Lion King was very successful and very popular, while Pocahontas, it was still good, but not as big of a hit or extraordinaire, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, and so for Lion King, well, what the heck, you know, 10 out of 10 stars. I've got nothing else to say. 10 out of 10 stars for The Lion King, because it is a fantastic Disney film. The animation, the story, the characters, the songs, and the music, because the songs that Elton John had done, and I forget what's his face, along with Elton John, they did fantastic. The music by Hans Zimmer, fantastic. He even won an Oscar for that. I think even beating, like, the music and score by Alan Silvestri for Forrest Gump, you know? That was really cool. Yeah. Everything about it is fantastic. And you guys let me know what you think of Lion King, because I enjoyed it, and I'm sure you do too. So again, 10 out of 10 stars for Lion King. Hope you enjoyed this review video. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review video. Take care, and peace out.